Hey guys, it's me, Levi, with Fishing with Levi, and today we're going to be doing a very long video, so we're 5 seconds in, 10 seconds in, whatever. If you don't want to sit here and listen to me talk, that's fine, just click off, don't watch this, because this is going to be a long seminar. It's going to be a fish review is what this is. We're going to be talking about the differences in the black bass, and we're going to go into a big, long talk about black bass in general, and break down the species, the subspecies, stuff like that. Okay, so with black bass, there are 4 main, families of black bass, and that is I don't know if it's backwards or not, I believe it is, but that is the largemouth, the smallmouth, the spotted, and the red eye black bass. We just say red eye bass, smallmouth bass, spotted bass, but you can say largemouth black bass. Sorry for the stutters, it's like 11 o'clock at night, so just bear with me. I just gotta get a video out. I'm trying to build a consistency here. So moving into the largemouth section of the video right now. Okay, with largemouth bass, there are 2 main species, and then there's kind of a subspecies of largemouth that most people don't really consider a different species. I do, because that's what my personal best largemouth is. And when I'm talking about a personal best of one species, I'm just talking about that whole species in general, right? So this is, if you're doing the black bass grand slam, you want to catch one of every species, right? You want to catch a largemouth, a smallmouth, a spotted bass, and a red eye bass. That's the black bass slam. It's 4 fish, right? You can go even deeper, and you can say, I want to catch every one, which is every subspecies and every different species of the categories, and then every subspecies. I have not done that. I'm working on my red eye bass slam, which you catch every different subspecies of red eye bass, or every different species and subspecies of red eye bass. Then I'm gonna move over, and I'm gonna gradually do it. I'm not gonna try and do it all in 1 year though. It's gonna be a lifetime thing, and it's gonna probably take years upon years and years to finish, because there are different kinds of bass all over the world, right? But with largemouth bass, there are 2 main. There's northern and southern largemouth. And then there's not really another category for northern. They typically have a smaller mouth as in diameter. It's still going to extend past the eye, but it's going to typically be a smaller mouth. They're going to have a smaller head and a bigger body, right? That's typical, easy identification of one. But you can catch southern largemouth that also have that specification. You know, they got the smaller head and the bigger body, smaller mouth. And it's not really a telltale sign. Most of the time, you just gotta tell by the region you're in what subspecies you have. And then for southern, there's southern, and then there is a strain of bass that I consider different, so a lot of people still don't, and that is the Florida bass. And the Florida bass, they get bigger, they get stronger, they grow faster, they get older. You know, my personal best was a Florida bass. It weighed 10.2 pounds. I've got the video up on my channel. It's a short form video. I wasn't really recording for it. But I did do it. I did go catch it, and somehow I'm bleeding right now. But that's okay. So there's the Florida, and then there's the southern. There's the southern and the northern, and there's just largemouth, right? And I drew up a pretty good diagram. So it is mirrored, so you might have to read it backwards if it's mirrored for you. If not, I'll figure out a way to fix it. So, but there's northern, there's southern, there's Florida, and then there's just standard southern. Just to clarify that there's a difference between the 2. Moving on, we're going to talk about smallmouth. Okay, so with smallmouth, there's really only 2 different varieties of them. There's northern and southern again. They're actually a little bit different the way they're spelled. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know the name off the top of my head. But there is a different name. We're just going to call them northern and southern because that's generally where they're found. You can also call them eastern or western because a lot of the southern smallmouth, southern strain are found in the Midwest and the Southwest of the United States and down through northern Central America, right? And then the northern smallmouth are found from, the Midwest, California area, all the way up north into Canada, and all the way east into northern Georgia and North Alabama. And they cover pretty much the whole country. Not really so much in Florida, Louisiana, down there. We have them in North Alabama, North Georgia, You know, they have them in Arkansas every once in a while. Like northern Arkansas, they have them. The White River has them, like stuff like that. Like, not the southern or the southeastern states really have them. They have them, but they're only in the northern parts of some of those states. They're very few and far between where I'm from. So with the smallmouth, we have two main strains. We have the northern and the southern. And there's not really any more detailed way that I'm aware of to describe them, other than northern and southern, or whatever the other name is for them. Is probably some sort of Native American name that they founded a long, long time ago that we just kind of stuck with, which, you know, I'm not upset about. I'm not really offended by. I don't really care. I'm just gonna call them northern and southern because that's all I really know. Growing up, we just called them smallmouth, the smallmouth, the smallmouth, and any fish with a smallmouth, any bass with a smallmouth and looked brown was a smallmouth. So yeah, we didn't have many opportunities to catch them when I was younger. Man, I'm really bleeding now, and I don't know why. I think I hit my chair. But yeah, so they're pretty simple. They all really eat the same thing. They all really look the same. Moving on, we're gonna talk about spotted bass. And spotted bass are a lot of fun to catch. And moving on from smallmouth, which are a lot of fun to catch as well, or spotted bass. And I have them readily available to me in my local small 5-acre reservoir. It's a man-made lake. It's got a dam. You see me fish it a lot. I haven't fished it in a while. I'm gonna go back there and fish it sometime. And it's got big spotted bass in there. They're actually a subspecies of spotted bass. So into that specification, we'll talk about that in a second. Spotted bass are broken into two main categories: spotted and Alabama bass. Alabama is a little bit different, right? So there's spotted bass, which are Tennessee and Georgia. That's where they're found. They're their own thing. Like, they're the main thing. And then just in the last 2 or 3 years, we've discovered Alabama bass are actually different. They're a subspecies of spotted bass. They're their own thing, right? So they're different from the Tennessee and Georgia strain, which are the same strain of bass. They both come from the same river, right? Or not the same river, but like they move through the tributaries, and they've been spread by man. They've been spread by nature, hurricanes. Everything's pushed them out east. And in Alabama and in the Cahaba River, we've got our own species. And then my buddy, when I went and caught my red-eye bass, my Cahaba bass, they just recently caught their Alabama bass, right? And I've caught plenty of them. The local pond near me that I used to fish all the time. Recently, I've moved. I'm at my old house right now. So my audio for this segment of the video got corrupted, so I'm gonna redo this. But what you're about to hear and what you're about to watch, I'm talking about red-eye bass. So we're gonna get into that here in a second, and there are several types. This is actually a really interesting one. It's a long segment though, because there are just so many kinds. But yeah, so stay tuned and please keep watching. Okay, so I had to completely stop the video because I had to go to Google. I had to check my old YouTube videos. I had to check other people's YouTube videos. I had to do some research because there are so many of them. And I don't even know if I got them all. I highly doubt I did. These are just all the ones that I could find and that I could remember. So there are Warrior. So I'm going to write down the states you can find them in too, so that I know of. I know I can find a bunch of them in Alabama. So Warrior, you can find that in Alabama. Cahaba, you find that in Alabama. Shoal can be found in Alabama. Tallapoosa can be found in Alabama. Coosa can be found in Alabama. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 8 that I have written down, you can find in Alabama. Guadalupe, you find on an island. Honestly, you find those in Guadalupe. I was gonna write down, you know, Central America. C T A. Chattahoochee, you might be able to find them here. I'm not sure. I don't really know. I think you might be able to though. It's either Alabama or Florida, one of the two, or maybe even Tennessee. I'm just gonna write down Tennessee. That sounds about right. I know you can find the shoal bass in Tennessee and in Georgia. And then there's the Coosa bass, which I know you can find in Alabama. I'm not sure about anything else. I know you can find Chattahoochee in Tennessee. maybe Alabama, maybe Georgia, maybe Florida. I'm not sure. The Warrior I know is Alabama. Cahaba I know is Alabama. The Guadalupe I know is Central America. I don't think we have those here. Maybe Texas. Then we have the Coosa. That's Alabama. That's the Coosa watershed. And then the Swanee bass, which is Florida. The Swanee River. And that's what I really want to find because they're actually going. They're almost extinct now. They're really hard to find. They used to be abundant. My grandpa's friend, he's kind of like become one of my uncles or my grandpa. His name's Winston, right? He's kind of sick right now, but he'll get better. He's gonna be better. Me and him are gonna go down to Swanee sometime in the near future, and we're gonna chase down a Swanee bass. Because I told him last time I saw him that I wanted to find one with him. He lived down there, and they used to be abundant. And he said he's been wanting to catch one for a long time. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go catch a Swanee bass with him. And that's going to mark off my red eye Grand Slam. So the ones that I have caught are the Cahaba. I'm going to put a check mark next to them. The ones I haven't caught, I'm going to put a star next to. So Warrior, I have not caught. The Cahaba I have caught. The Shoal I have not caught. That's surprising. I've been fishing for them for a long time, just haven't caught them. Guadalupe, I've not even gotten close. Never been Midwest, never been to Texas, never been to Central America, never been over there. Tallapoosa, never caught one. Chattahoochee, never caught one. Coosa, I have caught one of those. Well, I might have caught one. I think it was a Cahaba, though. It had white tips on the fins, so I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to say no, because just an excuse to go catch them again, right? The Swanee, soon. Be ready for that. It's going to be sometime in the near future. We're going to hang out with them. As soon as he gets better, I'm going to go down to South Florida, or Central Florida, and we're going to go chase them. So I've caught one of the, I believe 7 is how many there should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 that I have written down. There's main 7. A lot of people don't talk about the Swanee bass. That's an unheard of species right now. And they have actually, a lot of people have called them extinct. A lot of, Fish and Wildlife agencies call them extinct. Even, I don't know what the technical wildlife management is, but I saw an article where they said that they declared them extinct. But I know they're not. I've hooked them in the last time I was in Swanee, I hooked into one. It was a good one too. It was almost 2 pounds. It was big. But I lost him, and it sucks because I would have him checked off. But I'm gonna go get my redemption, and while I'm down there, I'm gonna try and go for a bonefish too on the fly. So we're gonna go for a bonefish, and we're gonna go for a Swanee Florida bass on the fly. I'm gonna try and do all my red eye on the fly. So I've got my Cahaba on the fly. That video's I caught 2 of them. My first ever 2 Cahaba bass. I caught them on the fly, and I live on the Cahaba River. So caught my first 2. Caught them on a fly rod. Had a lot of fun. Next, I might do the Warrior. That's near home. That's kind of near home. It's like a 2-hour drive. Shoal bass is pretty close. That's up North Florida, or North Alabama and into Tennessee. Tallapoosa I could do. That's near home. I believe Tallapoosa is Alabama. It might be Tennessee. It might be Georgia. No clue. I think it's Alabama. So that's what I wrote down. But just to show you what I'm looking at right now. It took me a long time to write that. I had to restart the video completely. I couldn't just put a cut in there. So, yeah. Very interesting. That is the dream, though. I want to get the whole, I was talking about earlier, people being crazy for doing the whole thing at once. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it at once. I'm going to do it over, it's going to take years, okay? I've finished my largemouth. I've finished my smallmouth. Actually, I haven't caught the southern strain of smallmouth. But we're just going to say that, okay, they're really the same thing. They're different, but they're the same. And I just say smallmouth. So I'm going to say, got my largemouth, got my smallmouth, got my Florida bass. So a largemouth Grand Slam, done. That's absolutely done. I've caught northern, southern, and Florida largemouth. My black bass Grand Slam is done. My largemouth Grand Slam is done. My smallmouth Grand Slam is done. My spotted bass Grand Slam is done. All I need is the red eye, and that's the one that there's the most of. I've got my spotted and my Alabama bass. I've got my smallmouth. I've got my northern, my southern, and my Florida largemouth. I've got, all I need left is the red eye, and we've already started off strong. The second I started it, I went out on the fly, and I caught it, and I want to get all of these on the fly. I'm not going to count it towards it until I get it on the fly. So we're going to do that. Next up might be the Swanee. I don't know, I might go try and catch a few more Cahaba bass because they're so pretty. I don't know if you saw how blue they are. I'll link down to my my IG, and y'all will see the pictures. They were so blued up right when I pulled them out of the water. Those videos, I'd caught them a while after that. They kind of lost their color. They got stressed, but right when I pulled them out of the water, I got a picture. It was bright blue and gorgeous. So we're gonna do that. I caught those in the little Cahaba. There's really only one access point that's like good. And that's where I went. I don't want to spoil spots, but I just did. I don't think anyone watches this anyways though, so yeah. My goal with this whole like challenge thing I'm talking about is I want people to think of Alabama and the Southeast as a biodiverse area. You know, a lot of people, you know, from up north, they say, oh, I've never been there, or I've driven through there to go to the beach or something. But what they don't see is just the amount of biodiversity we have. We've got, Alabama alone has more different species of freshwater fish than any state in the country. And we don't broadcast that. We don't tell people about it really. Which I get, you know, some of us want to keep it to ourselves. Oh my gosh, my arm looks like a twig. Some of us just want to keep it to ourselves. Some of us just don't care. Most of the people here just don't care. There are some organizations that are taking action now. Definitely, I would recommend you to go follow them and try and pitch in a little bit. Especially if you're from Alabama and especially the Cahaba area, we need to stand up for it. And I'm not a tree hugger or anything, but it is kind of getting out of hand. You know, I'm not seeing nearly as many fish as I used to, whether it be largemouth, spotted bass, or red-eye bass, or anything. Not seeing nearly as many as I used to when I was younger, right? I've seen 2 red-eye bass, 3 red-eye bass, because I hooked one and I lost one earlier, all year long. That's it, 3. All 3 of them were Cahaba bass in the Cahaba River. I did not see a Cahaba lily bloom this year. I might have missed it, but I know from other people calling me and telling me it wasn't a very good bloom. They've been getting worse and worse. The weather's been getting worse and worse. It's been getting warmer and warmer every year. Not saying climate change. I am saying we are getting more and more industrialized. This year we didn't even have fall colors. It went from green to brown. So there's problems that we need to deal with, and I think they're fixable. I think we can fix the fishing world as we know it around my house, around my home, and my backyard. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank y'all very much for watching. If y'all stuck with the end, congratulations. That was a really long video. And if y'all learned something, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know. I'm trying to get bigger as a content creator. So yeah, not much action in this video. I just had to get something out. I'm trying to get consistent. I'm trying to grow. So thank you all again for watching. Love, peace, God bless.